Morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Today we're going to talk about a subject that I call From the Cradle to the Grave. And that seems to be the damage that's being done to us by the industries that are basically dictating what has turned out to be a deadly and poisonous diet that they recommend as healthy, and they are in control from the cradle to the grave and seem to have us doing all the wrong things for our entire lifetime in between. Let me explain. When I say cradle, I mean from infancy. Now, as most people probably know, animals are equipped to feed their young. Human animals, traditionally, since the beginning of time, have been feeding their young breast milk. You can analyze what's in breast milk. It's not hard to do. We have the means. And if we do, we find that there are some very major and important components that are in breast milk. And one of the most important and one of the most necessary for the proper development of a young infant and its brain is fat. And shortly after fat, we have cholesterol. We have amino acids and proteins that are the building material of life. And we have some sugar, some carbohydrates in the form of lactose in the milk. And that's it. Vitamins and minerals that come from what the mother eats are in there. So the mother's diet is important at this time. But still, the fats that are in mother's milk are animal fats. Animal fats, mostly monounsaturated and saturated animal fats. And typically an infant should be on mother's milk for what a lot of people recommend, up to a year or two, because it's necessary to get that correct combination of nutrients that we need to develop, much like what's in this egg here. Everything necessary to build a living chicken is inside this egg. So, what do? Well, in our modern hectic society, breastfeeding is inconvenient. We just can't do it. Oh my God, it's disgusting. How did that ever get started? We're going to make some chemical concoctions. We know what we're doing. We're smart. We're going to make some chemical concoctions that we think provide all the vitamins and minerals that a growing infant or toddler needs. And in our infinite wisdom and in the propaganda-based advice coming from people like Ansel Keys, we have decreed that fat, one of the most important nutrients for human health, causes heart disease and it's bad for us. And how can we be feeding this stuff to our children? Children, by the way, who for billions of years have been doing just fine on all that fatty mother's milk. I'm sorry, we need to come up with a new and improved food for these young citizens of ours, and we need to feed them seed oils instead of natural animal fats. And they're just not getting all the vitamins they need. So we need to load this infant formula up with what we think are the essential, the vitamins they need. We don't care where they came from. We don't care if they're plants. We don't care if they're not bioavailable. We need to put it in there because mothers just simply need the convenience of being able to feed their baby from a bottle and not be bothered with that messy, embarrassing breastfeeding stuff. Well, we know mother's milk has lactose in it. So we need to put sugar in this infant formula too, so we'll load it up with sugar. It doesn't matter what kind of sugar. And what we've come up with is some Frankenstein chemical concoction of a liquid that we think is going to contain everything that our little infant baby is going to need to grow up and be big and strong and healthy, especially the sugar, because we all know that the body runs on sugar. We know that. I mean, doesn't everybody know that? That sugar is where our energy comes from, not that evil fat. Excuse me while I beat my eggs. Thank you. And just as an aside, I happen to be cooking a lovely chuck roast here in my slow cooker, 8 hours on low, one of my favorite things, and got a video on my channel about how I do that, how I prepare it to eat it. But back to the cradle to grave stuff. So let's take a look at the ingredients in a typical baby formula, and I have it right here. And this formula is Walmart. And it says here, ingredients: lactose, vegetable oils, palm olein, soy, coconut, high oleic safflower or high oleic sunflower, whey protein concentrate, reduced in minerals, non-fat dry milk, and less than 2% of, and then it goes on. So the main ingredients in this thing are sugar and seed oils and some whey protein, reduced in minerals. Non-fat dry milk, got to get that fat out of there. And then a huge list of vitamins that they've thrown in there. And that's what the most precious things in the life that we have to us, our babies, are supposed to develop on. Is it any wonder why our children come out of infancy as undernourished carbohydrate addicts? We have ruined them right out of the gate. We've set them up for a life of being addicted to all of the profitable crap that big food is bringing us, and eventually the illnesses and sicknesses that big pharma is waiting right there to sell us lifetime treatments for these things that aren't even communicable diseases. And that's how we live our entire life until we get to the end. We've got dementia. We've got diabetes. We've got heart disease. We're losing our minds. We need to be in a nursing home. And in we go. And in a nursing home, they, of course, are obligated by law to feed us according to the government guidelines. And our diet consists of the same diet that put us in this nursing home, and that is a diet of predominantly grains, seed oils, and sugar. But there's a magic drink that everybody is prescribing for us. A magic drink called Ensure. And they got us on the way in. Guess we'll have a shot at us on the way out. This stuff is not cheap either. And I happen to have here from Abbott Laboratories the list of ingredients that happen to be in this magic drink that's going to help us survive our demented old age. And here's the ingredients in order of volume. Water, corn maltodextrin, sugar, that's sugar. So the two major ingredients in our Ensure, this healthy prescribed drink that we need to drink in our old age, the two main ingredients are water and sugar. Then it has some milk protein concentrate, soy protein isolate, sugar, and canola oil. Good shot. That's what they give us on the way out. Seed oils and sugar mixed up in water with a little milk protein thrown in there, which is probably in a bio-unavailable form, as most of these processed and manufactured foods are. Now there's a list of vitamins, so you know, it's just another one of their multivitamin pills dissolved in a liquid of seed oils and sugar. It is criminal. It's misleading. It's fraud. But yet, it's accepted by us. It's what we know. It's what we're used to. We need to wake up to this. I can't fix it by myself. I can only do what I'm doing, and that is eat real food. There's an army of propagandists to make sure we don't get this message, or that they control the narrative. But they have us right now. And any of you that don't believe me, just, take a look at the labels. See what it is that's in these miracle foods like baby formula and Ensure. We already know what's in our foods that we eat in between. But I'm just showing here that they've got us on the way in and on the way out. If you know somebody that's feeding their child formula, try to let them know. If you've got an elderly relative that you love, that's in a nursing home, whose doctor is prescribing Ensure, speak up about that. Let them know exactly what it is that they're drinking. They're drinking chocolate-flavored baby formula for all intents and purposes. Stuff is not good for us. Thought I'd let you know. And with that, I'll finish cooking my breakfast. You guys take the rest of the day off and eat meat and drink water.